It's game time in Philadelphia as the crowds at Wells Fargo Center look to cheer on the 76ers. The New York Knicks come into this one after a win against the Pistons.
A lot of firepower coming off the bench in that game really allowed them to escape with victory.
I thought the bench was the X factor for him. You can't rely on that kind of scoring coming from the reserves every game. But when it shows up, it's a nice weapon.
And now the New York Knicks starters. We've got Smith. Norris Cole is out there with Harris. Then there's Robin Lopez. And it's Anthony in the 3 slot. You look at the numbers for Robin Lopez, Clark, they won't blow you away, but his impact is a lot bigger.
Exactly, Kevin. I mean, he's unselfish as a player, does all the little things. He's not focused on his numbers or shot attempts, and that's a welcome deal for coaches and teammates. He just wants to help his crew win.
And Harris wide open. He shoots. And again, New York with the triple.
A good open look, and he splashes home the 3.
And a wide open look for Walker. And that one's on target from the wing. Walker's got his first bucket of the night.
I don't know. Maybe they're still working out the kinks on D because that clearly was a breakdown.
Harris kicks to Anthony. Just 5 to shoot. And it's sent back by Plumlee. They retain possession. And the basket by Harris.
And that's one of his strengths, knocking down those long-range jump shots.
And here's Walker. He's been producing a fair amount of offense night in and night out as he's averaging 14 points a game. And it's Gibson finishing it off.
He gives that rim a good tug on the way down.
That's how you drive your point home.
I tell you what, he's lucky on that one that he got away with maybe not picking up a tee.
And there's the foul. It's on Nicholas Batum. That is his first foul of the game. Anthony with the screen on Walker. Here's Cole. Great D that time from Gibson. The 76ers have gotten their first 3 shots to go in for him to start off this game. And Plumlee kicks to Lee. And it's all evened up. Lee's got 5 points so far.
And early on, they look great. They've made all 4 of their shots to start this game.
Smith outside. Here's Harris. It's hauled in by the 76ers.
And you know what? That's one of those heat checks if he's taking shots like that.
Yeah, heat check or not, I don't care how hot he may or may not be. He's not making that one.
New York's gone 3 of 3 from deep. 9 points rung up from outside here in the first. Kicks it to Lopez. And there's the feed to Harris. Dishes it to Cole. He's looking for Lopez and finds him. And he bangs it home with one hand.
He had just used his strength there to get the post position without much fight from the defense.
Yeah, I think he's got to do a much better job next time of just bodying up. Get some muscle into him.
Out of bounds, New York takes possession.
You always want a player to have his head up and to be surveying the court, but not if that's going to be the result.
The Knicks have gone 4 of 7 from the field, shooting over 50%. Here's Cole, guarded by Walker. Cole, the pass to Smith. Shot clock at 6. Cole's shot is good. 76ers trailing. Outside, Walker. Gibson the screen. And a wide open look for Lee. No good from outside. For New York, they've gone 5 of 8 from the field, shooting over 62%. Philadelphia started to create a little bit of an identity last season after all their transactions, Clark, and shifting around. They settled down and came together.
Yeah, and I tell you, it looks like the identity will be the Sixers being a defensive team going forward. Offense has its fits and starts, but defensively they found some traction.
Here's Anthony, and again it's New York.
They have got to put a body on it, because otherwise, with his agility and athleticism, they're not going to be able to contain him on the offensive glass.
As you said, the 76ers will be a team built on defense going forward. At least that's what it seems like to me. They have very active hands and can bother a lot of shots. They also force a ton of turnovers as well.
And so the ball goes out of bounds. Lopez touched it last. 4 on the shot clock. From 17 feet out. And he sinks that one, hitting the back of the rim on the way in.
And, you know, guys, the Sixers did force a lot of turnovers, but they also gave the ball away the most in the NBA, so kind of negated the turnovers they forced. They can be as defensive as they want, but they've got to get better at taking care of the ball if they're going to improve.
New York calls timeout. In addition to going over the game plan and making whatever necessary adjustments have to be made, Greg, this timeout also the time for players to get rehydrated or hydrate for the first time with some Gatorade. Plenty of basketball still to be played here, and they have to get recharged.
That's a great point. Without proper hydration, a player can completely run out of gas down the stretch of a game, and that's something that none of these guys can afford to have happen. If you're going to battle all the way to the finish, you have got to be hydrated.
Some changes for Philadelphia. Tyler Zeller comes in for Plumlee, and Boris Diaw is sub for Taj Gibson. Adams, he's checked in for New York. Young comes in for Harris. Adams outside. The drive by Anthony. He has a highlight reel unto himself, guys.
Yeah,
wow.
That could very well be a contender for Dunk of the Year, and perhaps might make its way all over the internet.
I tell you what, that is the crowd pleaser of all crowd pleasers.
Here's Walker following the score by New York. Lee outside. Again, the miss by Lee. Inside. And Young kicks to Anthony. And again, it's New York.
Oh, this is the kind of start they were hoping for.
Yeah, shots falling, off to a very good start offensively as a result.
Pick by Zeller. Walker goes in. It's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. Well, last year, Tyler Zeller both started and came off the bench, showed he could be an effective player even when playing heavy minutes.
Yeah, and if you look at the games that he played as a starter, he increased his usage, and it didn't bother his production at all.
And so Zeller nails both of them.
And for Zeller last season, his numbers were the same or better as a starter. His scoring picked up a touch. Still had a great field goal percentage, too. So really solid production in his first couple of years.
Now, here is Young. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him.
And I think the big thing for Zeller was that he found his role in the league. He knows he'll be an energy guy who has to make the most of his touches. And to his credit, he is nothing but a positive force on the floor.
And the first one at the line is good. Well, guys, Josh Smith, an interesting case. Clark, he shot about 2 triples a game last year, yet for the last 3 seasons, his free throw percentage has been under, surprisingly, 55%.
Yeah, and that's terribly troubling. I mean, his three-point percentage improved in Houston, but the free throws, really, he can do much better than that. You look at his stroke, I think it's just a matter of concentration with Josh.
The 19-foot shot, and that one comes up a bit short. The Knicks leading